I am sick to death of a variety of Manchester United content creators blaming everyone and everything for Manchester United's problems but the manager. Their blindness to his flaws as a coach. It's the Glazers, it's the way the wind's blowing, it's the referee, it's injuries, it's the players, it's everybody else but Eric Ten Hag. That is not right, everyone. The coach must stand there and take responsibility for his mistakes, his mismanagement of these players. The old adage is always play your players to their strengths. He doesn't have the players to play the style he's playing. And that's why we're ineffective. That's why we're losing games. These players he's inherited can't play the pressing game he wants to play. I'd be even bold to say that the players he's brought in are not suited for the style he wants to play in. You know, Casemiro is a pale imitation of the player he was. Eric insisted in bringing a 30-year-old player for a lot of money. And all of a sudden, he's a pale imitation of last season's player. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Sancho situation. Eric Ten Hag said before the game he wasn't selected for the squad because his training wasn't at the required level. That's a very, very strong thing to say. Now, these content creators are saying, but remember this moment and that moment where there was rumours he was a bit of a diva, he wasn't training properly. A variety of these content creators, not just from one platform, all of them are singing from the same hymn sheet, that Jadon is the problem. David De Gea was the problem. Cristiano Ronaldo was the problem. I supported Eric in getting Ronaldo out. I supported Eric in getting De Gea out. But I have to apologise to those players now. Why? Because he was playing to David De Gea's weaknesses. And his style of play exposed David's weaknesses. That's the problem. When David was brought in to play for Manchester United, he was brought in to play in a certain style to his strengths. But Eric Ten Hag, because he's not adaptable to play to his players' strengths, only plays one way, which exposed De Gea. De Gea didn't become a bad goalkeeper overnight. Maybe it's Eric Ten Hag that's the problem. Anyway, let's read Jadon Sancho's statement. So this is what Ten Hag said. Ten Hag said Sancho had not reached the level required to be included. But this is what Sancho said in response. Please don't believe everything you read. Sancho wrote on social media, I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I have conducted myself very well in training this week. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't go into. I have been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. He's literally saying, don't believe a word the manager says. That I've been a scapegoat. That the reasons I'm not being picked are other reasons. Now, a lot of people, almost everyone, are saying, don't listen to him. This is disrespectful. How can he come out and say it? I'll explain to you. When your reputation is being tarnished, you feel there's no choice but to do the unthinkable and speak the unthinkable to protect your reputation. What this does, though, this makes him look worse. But not to me, because I can see through this situation now. This is the kind of thing that Ronaldo said on the Piers Morgan interview, right? Now, De Gea wasn't so bold to come out and say anything against Ten Hag, but he did put up that emoji of a clown, didn't he? 1 minute he was staying, then he was going. I agreed with Ten Hag about De Gea, but now I've changed my mind because it was his fault and his style of play that made De Gea make those weaknesses. He's not playing to his squad strengths. He's not adaptable as a manager. This is the problem. Not the Glazers, not the refereeing decisions, and not the injuries. Injuries are part of football. And this is the core element that biased fellow Manchester United fans are not listening to. So I'm backing, right here and right now on this video, and forevermore, I'm backing Jadon Sancho because he's making the same noises as Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I believe that Cristiano Ronaldo was getting old and he had to go. But it was the way it was done. Publicly, it was like he supported Ronaldo, but Ronaldo tried to say behind closed doors, it was a different story. And here's another problem. Erik ten Hag is playing other players who are clearly not doing it on match day. He has his players that he wants to play. He's brought in ex-players that he's played with before as well. And another question, Bruno Fernandes. I like Bruno Fernandes. He's a world-class player, but is he captain material? No, it's a serious question. Is he captain material? Is he a Premier League title-winning captain? I don't think so. So there's lots of decisions that Erik's making here that we have to question. I don't support the Glazers. I know they're a big problem. They've run out of money. They have to go. They can't run the club, but they want, like any businessman, they want a specific amount of money to leave. And they will leave when someone bids that type of money. I believe they will go eventually, and it's the best thing for the club. But I'm so sick and tired of the Glazers being blamed for everything, for referees being blamed for our downfall. Arsenal had to cope with exactly the same shit yesterday as we did. They had a penalty withdrawn, but they got on with it and they won the game. And by the way, beyond the injuries and everything else, let's say one thing. We had 11 world-class players put out that should have been able to at least hold on for a draw within injury time. And something else, everyone's blaming Evans and Maguire for the way we lost and how we lost and the defending. Who was our centre-backs when we conceded the first goal? Because it wasn't Maguire and it wasn't Evans. If anything, Maguire and Evans should have been able, with their experience, to see the game out. The problem is with them is not their quality. They've got good quality and good experience. Okay, they're not the perfect centre-backs we want playing for Manchester United, but they got good experience. This is what Sir Alex used to do with May and Bruce when they got a bit older. It's not a big deal. It's the team structure that's letting us down. It's not playing these players to their strengths, and it's only going to get worse. And new owners will not tolerate this mismanagement, because when a player is forced to come out and say, I won't have, basically, he's not saying it in so many words, but I'm not going to allow this manager to talk shit about me. I think Jadon Sancho is a good lad. Like, they're all rich. They're all spoilt kids. We know that. How can they not be? With the money around them, with all the yes men and the yes women and the OnlyFans girls waiting to sit on their tackle. I get it. But this lad hasn't showed anything but being professional. We know that he's been hampered by personal problems as well. But here's the thing. Maybe he didn't deserve to be in the squad. But as a manager, you don't come out and say that publicly. Sir Alex would never have done that to one of his players. He made it public. That's not right. And he does this all the time. That's a private thing. You don't embarrass a player. But the player is saying it's not about his training conduct. It's about something else. Anthony was playing shit. Basically, his adopted son Anthony was playing shit. He's doing okay now. He's a lot better now, I agree. But he kept on playing him. Was his training that much better than what Sancho's doing here? He's tarnished the lad's reputation. The lad was forced to come in. That's not a statement of a diva. Manchester United have several problems. And the worst thing you can do as supporters and content creators is close your eyes and bury your head under the sand like some goddamn ostrich and pretend it's everybody else's fault but the manager's.